So Maharaj has traveled all around the world, and he leads many wonderful programs, like he does a Festival of India in Poland. He's also brought that tour to the United States. He just came from a tour in Rishikesh. So his most favorite thing to do is to share bhakti with others. So today's theme is on prayer. So I'm going to ask Maharaj just a few questions about his own experiences with prayer and his understanding, and hopefully it will help us to dive deeper into the topic. Okay.
Thank you very much, and welcome everyone to this session here at this great festival, Ratha Yathra Festival in Durban Beach from 2024. In Western countries, like in America, Europe, etc., when we hear the word prayer, we naturally think of Christianity because it's an integral part of that tradition. But it's also an integral part of our, you could say, Indian tradition, or more specifically, Krishna consciousness, which we would think is the essence of Indian culture or Vedic culture. It's actually one of the 9 processes mentioned by our saints in our scriptures. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Shmaranam, Harisevanam, Archanam, Bandham, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Beginning with hearing and chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord. Within that verse is Bandhanam. And Bandhanam actually means prayer. But specifically in our line, Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, started by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago, the Yuga Avatar, the Golden Avatar who came from the spiritual world, Krishna, in the form of a devotee. When we speak about prayer, we're simply asking for service. Many times when we hear prayer, we're asking the Lord for something material to make life a little easier. You know, please cure mommy, she's in the hospital, or I've got my exams coming up, and you know, please, God is like so far away in the spiritual world, engaged in his pastimes, like knocking on the door. Could you help me pass my exams? Like what? Or, you know, I'm running for mayor of this town, could you please help me? We have one prayer, Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Bhava Kadisha Kamaye Mama Janmini Janmini Ishwara Bhavata Papri. This explains the prayer of a pure devotee of Krishna, devotee of Vaishnava. My Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, neither do I want undue improper association with the opposite sex. Neither am I interested in name and fame and recognition. All that I want is that I might have your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. This is the prayer of the Vaishnava. Our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, gave a nice analogy, because analogies, they help us to understand deep philosophical concepts. You know? We're not all intellectuals. I'm not an intellectual. There's some smart guys out there. So for the common people like you and me, we need, you know, some analogies to help us understand something philosophical. So instead of approaching God for something material, we should ask for something spiritual, which is service. And our spiritual master gave the analogy. He said, let's say you go to a millionaire. Of course, millionaires, now we have billionaires, so let's use that analogy. When you go to a billionaire to ask something, you don't ask him for 10 rand. You don't ask for 100 rand. You don't even ask for 1,000 rand or even 1,000,000 rand. If he's open to your request, you go for broke. Well, that's not a good phrase, go for broke. You ask him for some significant amount of money for whatever you may need. So in the same way, the Lord is providing everything in this world. He says in the Gita, I am the source of all that is material and all that is spiritual. So whatever we have in this world is a gift of God. So you know, our destiny is such that we have a certain allocation of material things. But the point is, those material things, our desire to enjoy them is what entangles us. In this world, birth after birth, material desires. Material desires means desires for things that are material. But a transcendentalist, a spiritual person, is trying to transcend this world.